Good morning everybody, welcome here to another video. Today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to be sitting here chatting with you, having a cup of coffee, and I encourage you to do the same. I'm just going to have a little health chat with you and what has recently been going on in my life. So without further ado, grab a coffee, grab a hot drink, and I hope you can join me on this video. So I decided to film this video today simply because I feel like you should be updated as to what's going on, and also because I think it might help other people, or it might eventually help me if you have any tips and tricks for me if you're going through the same situation as I am. So it's currently the 11th of February, and on the 8th of January I have found out that I have two things wrong with me and I need two surgeries, which is very exciting, I'm not gonna lie. Not, obviously. I had a scan on the 8th of January and I found out that one of the things wrong with me is that I have gallstones in my gallbladder. Now, this is nothing too serious for now, for me anyways. It's something I can deal with for a while, but I'm on the surgery list to get a surgery to get them removed. But how I found that out is basically because I've had 3 separate gallstone attacks in the last couple of months. I'm not totally sure when the first 2 happened, but I remember the first one being really sort of painful. I couldn't sleep during the night. The attacks start with like a sore back, just in the middle of your back, and then the stomach hurts on the side where the gallbladder is, just under your liver. And that was that, and it took a couple of hours for me to fall asleep, and that was it. The second one was just back pain, which was good because it only lasted for a couple of hours and then it was finished with just the back pain. And the third one I had on the 27th of December, and I spent hours in agony. Basically it started after I ate fried food, like oily food. That's the kind of, seems to be the trigger for me. When I eat something fried or oily, it tends to trigger it and I tend to have an attack. So I ate something like that, and I basically had, it started with the back pain, it then started to hurt my stomach. I couldn't find a place for myself, I couldn't lie properly, I couldn't stand, nothing would help, and I've realised that nothing helps it. You kind of just have to wait for it to pass. I took so many like painkillers, I had hot water bottles, I read all over Dr. Google what to do and what people are saying to like try and calm it down. Nothing helped. So I've realised that it was literally just like, you have to deal with it and it passes eventually. I think it was like 5 hours that I was in pain for, and it's like excruciating pain. It's pain like I've never felt before. Do you know when women are in labour and they like moo like a cow? That was me basically, and I didn't even know I was doing it. So it's pretty horrific if you ask me. And yeah, it also says on Google that if it doesn't stop after an hour you're supposed to take an ambulance, but I obviously didn't do that. I'm deathly scared of the hospitals, and honestly, even if I go for an appointment like with my mum or something where she's the patient, as soon as I walk into the hospital I shake and cry. Don't know why. I've never been to the hospital, I've never had a bad experience in hospital, I've never stayed in the hospital, never had surgeries before. I've only ever had 1 blood test in my life. I've never had to doctors or anything like that. So well, it's all going to change now. So I don't know why I'm so terrified of it, but it's just the smell of it. I think as soon as it hits me I freak out. So yeah, so obviously that's not going to be ideal with my surgeries, but it's fine, we'll get there and it should be okay. Well, at least that's what I'm telling myself. So that was that. So basically I decided to book myself in for a private ultrasound scan, which was on the 8th of January, and the lady confirmed that yes, I do have gallstones in my gallbladder, which I presumed I did, but she confirmed that, so I said okay, grand. And she kept like checking my stomach. It was like an abdominal scan, which like scans 4 or 5 of your organs in your stomach, And I knew from reading that none of them were kind of located below my belly, like my belly button. And she was scanning like my lower belly, and I was like, why is she there for so long? So I asked her and I said, is there anything there that shouldn't be there, basically? Do you have any more bad news for me? And she said, well, I can't really see properly, like there is something there, I can't see properly, but if we do an internal scan, then we can check properly. So I said, yes, go for it. So we did that one, and she found out that I have cysts on my ovaries. Now this isn't ideal for anybody, but I feel like it's not ideal especially for me, because I'm the sort of person that, like, wanting to start a family is like my biggest dream in the world, and it always has been. And if you know me, then you know already that I'm absolutely obsessed, and I cannot wait for the day when I can do that. So hearing that wasn't necessarily ideal. And she said that they look like dermoid cysts, and these are cysts that basically are made up of skin, hair and teeth, which is absolutely disgusting. And when she said that, I was like, excuse me? She said, I know I sound ridiculous, but that's what they are. And I was like, okay, great. And apparently you're born with them, so it's not like I did something wrong or, you know, ate something bad or whatever to have them. You're born with them and they grow with you, so that's just how it is. I know there's different type of cysts. I think there's ones with like just water in them, and then there's these, and I'm sure there's plenty of others that I just don't know about. But I have the dermoid cysts, or something that looks like it. That's what the doctor said when I got the report afterwards. And I found out from the report that I have 2 on the left and 2 on the right, which obviously is just great. And the ones on the left are pretty small. I think they're like 4 centimeters by 3 by 2, and then there's like 2 by 2 by 3 or something like that, which it's big enough anyways, but they're nothing compared to the ones on the right. And the ones on the right are, I think there's 6 centimeters by 6 by 7, and then there's a 7 by 6 by 5, I believe. That's just like the average sizes of them. They're like 6 point something. But yeah, so they're pretty big and they need to come out, basically. There's no other way of, you know, treating them or whatever. They need to come out, so I need to have 2, I think they are going to be 2 keyhole surgeries, which like is when they do like 3 holes in you and basically take it out that way. But yeah, so it's not ideal, as I said, and it kind of all makes sense now, because whenever it's getting close to my period, like 2 days before it, and then on my period, and then like a day or 2 after it's finished, my right side hurts. And it hurts like at the bottom, literally where the cysts are, and that would make so much sense because the ones on the right are huge compared to the ones on the left. On the left I don't feel anything, but on the right I feel it as if there's something in me. And at first I kind of thought that it was, well, maybe I'm getting paranoid because I just found out that I have them, but no, it's been like that for a while, which would make sense. So that's that. Apparently dermoid cysts don't stop you from having kids or anything like that, but I think mine are stopping me simply because they're so big that they might be blocking like my fallopian tube and things like that. So they have to come out. Otherwise there's nothing I can do. Let me just have a sip of my coffee, because I made a coffee and now I'm just yapping and I'm not drinking it. So since having the scan, I went to my GP and I told her what the report said, that I have both of these things and that I need to be put on the list for surgeries. And with the gallstones, she said, that's perfect, like you have your evidence that you have them, I'm going to book you straight for put you on the list straight for the surgery, which was fine. It was in one of the hospitals local to me. I have to ring them on Monday now, after the weekend, and see if my name is on it, if they got my referral letter since January, because I rang them like a week ago and they still didn't have it, so it's a long process. and I'm gonna see how long the list is. I think it's about a year long, so hopefully I'll get that sorted, but until then I just have to keep eating clean. I've been eating super clean since the 27th of December, since the last attack, and I haven't gotten any triggers just yet, so, but I'm eating really like super clean, so that's helping a lot. But if you have any tips, if you have gallstones or if you know somebody that had them, let me know what kind of triggered it. I know that even stress can trigger an attack, which is insane. It hasn't happened to me just yet. Fingers crossed it doesn't. But yeah, it just seems to be the fried food, and that's kind of the big thing that triggers it. Then I told the GP about the cysts, and she said that she was going to send me to another hospital to go to the gynecologist, who would then put me on the list for the surgery. So again, I rang that hospital and I asked them the other day how long, if they got my referral letter. They did, and then I said, how long do you think I'm gonna have to wait? And she said that I have to have a meeting with the gynecologist, like a consultant, who will then put me on the surgery list. So I'm not even on the list just yet until I meet with the person. And she said that the wait time to see them is 12 months. So when she said that, I was like, sorry, but there's no way I'm waiting 12 months. I know it's not that bad, maybe in some cases, but it's bad for me, and I can't wait another 12 months to then, approximately 12 months, it might be longer, to then be told, okay, let's put you on the surgery list. And in Ireland, I don't know if it's like that anywhere else, but in Ireland, waiting for a surgery can be like 3-4 years. It's ridiculous, if not more. So I'm 26, like I can't waste my life and wait for that. I just can't. So I've decided to have my surgery done in Poland, which is like just going to be a private surgery. I am going to have to pay for it, which obviously isn't ideal, but it's still cheaper than it is in Ireland. And I booked my appointment for March. I'm going to Poland to have like a meeting with the gynecologist, and they're going to tell me basically what's going on, and then at the end of that visit, at the end of that appointment, I'm going to have my surgery date, which quite possibly might be literally the month after. So I might be finished and done with everything by the end of April, which is amazing. Obviously that gives me so much more hope, I guess, that it'll be all done. I was kind of setting myself for it to be done at least by the end of the year, but obviously here this wouldn't be possible at all. So yeah, so I'm super excited that it can be done. Obviously that's just how it is now. That's the news that I have now. It might all change, but we'll see. I'm booked in. I'm gonna go and see what they say, and hopefully they can sort it out for me. Then also I had a blood test done at my doctor's, which came back all good, so that was great. I also have an MRI booked for the end of February, so that's in a couple of weeks, which is like going to be a contrast pelvic MRI. So they basically put me on the drip with this dye and they put it into my veins, and then they scan me. I think it's just so they can see it a little bit better and clearer. So again, that's something I'm petrified of, because I had the blood test in January, and as I said, that was only my second blood test in my life. It wasn't as bad, you know. I feel like though I make it out to be in my head worse than it actually is, but I'm just hoping the drip won't be that bad. And sure, look, by the end of all these surgeries and procedures, I'm going to be an absolute pro at staying in the hospital. Gosh, don't get me started about staying in the hospital. I actually can't even picture myself staying in the hospital. I think I'm going to have to be on FaceTime to someone like 24/7. Probably won't sleep either. So yeah, I kind of just thought I would share those updates with you, simply because as soon as I found out about having these two things, I went on YouTube and I searched for people that have these things also. just kind of in the hope to see somebody else dealing with it. I know there's people out there dealing with the same thing as I am, but it's so nice to actually put a face to the person, and to see it for myself, what they're saying, how it went, and just people that are totally fine, like after getting those 2 surgeries. I'm not so worried about the gallstone surgery because I know that's just really common. I'm worried about the cyst one for obvious reasons. I'm hoping they can take them out without having to take out my ovaries and things like that. So I guess I'll know my answer at the appointment in March. So keep your fingers crossed for me, please. But yeah, if you have any suggestions as to what I could do, if you know people that have it, if you have things like I have, if you've dealt with them before, and if you have any tips and tricks and kind words, and or even if you stayed in the hospital and you have any tips as to how I could make it an enjoyable experience, or how I can not freak out, I don't know, just let me know, because any help will help. And even from watching those YouTube videos that I've mentioned, it made me calmer a lot more. So I'm hoping that this video maybe will help somebody as well, just to see that there's somebody else out there in the same boat as them, basically. And I'm obviously going to update you on this in a couple of weeks when I get some more news. Probably not in a sit down video like this, probably just in a vlog or something. But yeah, that's kind of my news. Obviously not the best news. I know there's people out there dealing with bigger, greater things, and I do appreciate that, and I'm not putting myself above them if they're dealing with something a lot bigger. For me, it's just, this is big simply because I've never been sick, I've never been to the doctors, nothing has ever been wrong with me. So I guess it's a big thing for me. But of course, I know that there's people out there that are dealing with bigger things. I think I'm going to upload this on Tuesday or Wednesday, so I really hope you had a lovely weekend and Valentine's Day. I know I've been buying tulips recently a lot and I absolutely love them. I'm just obsessed, so I hope you got some lovely flowers. But yeah, other than that, I have no other news, and I hope you're all keeping well. Please, please, please send me your suggestions and lovely comments, because I would love to hear anything, any advice whatsoever. And I will see you all in the next one.